Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have with us Julie Ria, intuitive energy healer, is into spiritual coaching, Reiki master, and we learn from her what chakras actually do, why keeping them balanced changes everything, and what happens in an intuitive energy session. And as for Julie, she supports her clients by gently revealing the sources of their pain. She connects with her spirit and guides and her clients is to facilitate deeper healing. Personally, Julie has healed her thyroid condition and a molar scheduled for a root canal. So we'll talk about all this and much more. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Thank you, AJ. It's nice to be here.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show, Julie. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll talk about energy healing. We'll talk about much more than that. So we'll talk about all this. But before that, let's talk a bit about your journey, your background, your story, so that the audience knows who they are listening to.
Sure. I started on my energy healing path about 30 years ago. And I was always interested and curious. So I began with Reiki, became a Reiki master. And then a couple years ago, because I wanted to increase my abilities, I started looking at different energy healers and how they worked. And I came across my current mentor who uses intuition to help make things stronger. Her name is Christine Lang. And so through intuitive energy healing, we really look at the chronic symptoms that a person is experiencing and try to understand the reasons why they're there. So it's a lot of that is the emotional blocks that we carry in our body.
Absolutely, absolutely. So to understand this whole thing, you talk about that many people live with chronic symptoms and those aches and pains that they go to the doctor asking for help with, but the doctor tells them there is nothing they can do. I want to understand then, how do you want people to understand about their chronic? You mentioned about it, but in a bit more detail, how do you want to want people to understand the chronic symptoms, and also that these are messages from the body? How should they understand it? Many a times people just want to get rid of the pain and the suffering at that point in time.
Yes, sometimes, unfortunately, there's a little bit of work involved, both from my client and myself. And it's not, something magic that's going to happen right away. Sometimes we have to understand where and how this happened. We understand the why. So that message might, the chronic symptom might have started years ago, and it was just a very small ache. For example, a lot of people have shoulder pain, and what we don't understand is that sometimes it's because we feel this great burden for some reason. Maybe we have a little bit more responsibility than we can handle, or we just feel like we're shouldering the responsibility all by ourselves. And that manifests as pain in our shoulder. And spiritually, the right side of our body signifies going to the future, and the left side of our body signifies the past. So oftentimes I'll ask, okay, so tell me about what happened when you were 10. And we'll unearth certain patterns that develop, and through that understanding, we take off a layer of of an emotional block. And sometimes what'll happen is, someone will, sometimes it's very evident. Sometimes there will be a great trauma that they experienced. And so we'll talk about that and then very gently, you know, um, take layers from that. But then sometimes it's a small thing that might have happened, or as a child they interpreted something that happened in their family, and maybe their siblings thought it was funny, but they internalized it as something that was really sad or troubling. So understanding everyone's so different. Um, everyone holds um, this negative interpretation of something that happened in different parts of their bodies. Sometimes people have more stomach aches, so they hold it in their, say, their second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, or their third chakra, and that then they have digestive issues. Sometimes people can't speak their truth, and so they have a lot of issues with their throat, like thyroid, or like I did with my teeth and thyroid.
Absolutely, absolutely, Julie. So, a lot of people who would want to understand that, Julie, if I have got some chronic pain, should I look at the medical science or should I look at the energy healing part of, getting better? How do you, or how should one evaluate this part?
I always recommend that absolutely go to your doctor and and you know figure out, get your blood work done, x-rays, whatever needs to get done, because I am not a substitute for any medical advice or procedure. But when all of that is done and there seems to be no other reason for what's going on, um, that's where I come in. And so, because we look at the chronic symptom together and we very gently, unearth what happens, my clients are able to have little shifts. And then what I do after, maybe 45 to 50 minutes of talking, I will put in 10 to 15 minutes of energy. And that will help make that shift, um, really, really impactful. And I will clear the energy, any stuck energy that was there. And also, just to be clear, most of my clients are over Zoom. And so I'm a distance healer. I can do all this over distance. Um,
Absolutely. So tell us a bit about your clients. What sort of clients do you get generally? What do they want your help in? How do you help them? What is the methodology? If you can give some example.
sure. I've had a client with IBS who, we discovered that it came from her childhood. Her mother was always very ill and she had no control. She had no understanding about what was going on. And as soon as we gently uncovered that, her IBS symptoms, her digestive issues were gone. It took, it wasn't like a magic pill. Like I said, it wasn't, the first time, but we had about maybe 8 or 9 sessions, and her digestion went back to normal, which was quite wonderful for her. I've had some clients with there's a lot of digestive issues, and that again, when we hold negative energy, that we hold that in our solar plexus, in that area, that actually affects our liver and digestion. So, when someone comes to me and they say, well, you know, my my feet are hurting me all the time, I will look at issues that might affect their the root chakra. And so it really depends when people come to me, and there's so many people with shoulder issues and neck issues. And again, I'll ask, for example, one client, her husband works in the military, and when he gets deployed, within almost hours, her shoulder will start hurting her, because all of a sudden she's become mom, dad, and she's taking care of everything, plus she's worried about her husband. So these are the things, just almost everyday life, people come to me with symptoms. And I do help people with pain, like excessive pain. I've had a couple people with cancer, and I ask my spirit and theirs, can I actually heal this? And sometimes, for one person, it was, you can't heal it, but you are part of her team to make this process as gentle and as pain-free as possible. So it runs the gambit. I've
Right.
also helped, yeah.
So how do you help them? That too, especially if they are in another city, another part of the world, and it's all happening most of the time. It's online. I mean,
Yes.
it can be quite difficult for you.
Actually, I've been doing it for so long that it comes very naturally. I'm able to send with intention. I'm able to send the healing directly to the person. And sometimes, um, you know, it might take a few minutes for that person to feel it. People who I have a very close connection to, for example, my adult children, who I've been giving energy to for many, many years, they feel it right away. And people who are more open will feel it right away. Basically, you feel a distance healing, and is said that it's about 90% as effective as in-person healing. But honestly, I've always had such great outcomes from distance healing. I think my client is more at ease because they're in their own homes and they can relax, and they don't have to worry about getting in the car and driving home afterwards. So basically, what I do is it's the same process as if I were to if they were with me. So I ask with intention for the healing energy to come through me. So I'm a channel, and it goes through my palms. And so what I do is I just, with intention, see that person receiving my healing energy. And I have, for example, this evening, I have a client in Sydney, Australia, and um, we are going to have the same format over Zoom.
Absolutely. Uh, what are the challenges that you face in your work to heal others, Julie? Because some people may ask tough questions, may think it's woo woo, or something that is difficult to prove.
It's true. I, um, I can't heal magically. Um, and there's a lot of people, if someone doesn't believe in it at all, it's kind of like me sending energy to them and them wearing, having an umbrella. It will not sink in. But if they are open, then it's very helpful, and they will feel the energy work. They'll feel, when I do give energy, they'll feel a warmth. Some people feel a tingling. Some people feel waves. Some people just feel this very wonderful feeling of, if a loved one were to hug you, they feel that way. And it's that little realization that helps them to understand, oh, this is something. This is actually going to help me. And so if they're willing to show up and try, then we can work together. So that's,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Carry on, carry on.
Well, I mean, it's difficult to have someone who definitely is not into it. That is, I won't even pursue a client that is that way, because they're just so closed off. But if someone is just even a little bit curious and accepting, then definitely yes.
Absolutely, Julie. So if someone asks, where do you get all this energy from, Julie, to spread it all across the world, wherever your clients are? Where is this reservoir of energy? How can we access that reservoir or resource for ourselves?
So the energy is universal life force, and it basically is all around us. And for me, it's intention. I've had several attunements that allow me to send energy distance, that help me to heal different ailments. And this is over years and years of using the energy. But basically, when I give energy, and how everyone should be doing this, is that you just imagine it coming through the top of your head and going through your entire body, and it's there for all of us. We just have to ask for it and accept it and say thank you. What I do not do is use my own energy to heal. That would make me very sick, and that would also not really help the person I was trying to heal. So this energy is all around us. It comes, I call it energy from heaven, if you will. It's the energy that, very humbly I say this, that Jesus and Buddha used in their healing. And so, and being able to use this energy and ask for it and know that it's coming through me is very humbling.
Absolutely, Julie. So who is your ideal clients? What sort of people can, seek help from you?
Of course. So I've been seeing people, as young as, mid 20s to around 60, 65. Mostly women, but men come to me too. Again, people who are open to healing, who are wanting to, perhaps understand spiritually what's going on in their life, helping them with a chronic ailment that, they've tried everything. I also do, I help people, learn about their chakra system and why it affects us. Anyone who is spiritually open and goodness, I've lived a lot enough that I can help people with their life experiences. As they say, the wounded healer is able to help others. So I have a lot of life experiences in that regard.
Absolutely. There is so much to learn about all this from you, Julie, and I'm sure a lot of people would want to connect with you from over the world, wherever they are, and seek help from you. What's the best way for them to do so?
They can go on my website. It's julieriahealing.com, and learn a little bit more about me, and they can book through there as well.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, AJ.